Hi everybody, HopeGirl coming to you here from my back porch at the end of a long day, at the end of a long week. And this video is kind of like a mashup. So we're going to talk about apricots, apricot recipes, apricot harvests. I'm going to take you around my garden and show you all of our fruit trees and give you some of the ideas of what I've been doing to make the apricots. But this kind of goes a little more in depth because I'm also going to talk about, self-sustained living and having a homestead and, in this day in 2026 with everything else that's going on in the world and all the things that are going on online, there are so many people out there and so many different cultures that are just trying to make ends meet, that are trying to be sustainable and take care of themselves and their family. I'll bring my husband, Tavon, into this one as well because he's been working on some really interesting little energy projects to help people in like an off-grid situation, in a grid down situation. So anyway, I went online, I found a whole bunch of different apricot recipes because here in Morocco, we called apricots mishmesh. That's the name for them in Morocco. And we have so many mishmesh trees, and we had so many apricots last year. We took them all, cleaned them, pitted them, and ended up freezing all of them. So today, I defrosted all of the apricots. There were so many, and we made like 5 or 6 different things out of the apricots so that we can have them and enjoy them for, a long time to come. I've made apricot jam. I've made more apricot jam than I can ever imagine. So I had to do different things with the apricots this time. So I'm taking you guys along for the journey so you can see us here at the homestead. And in between filming this video, it was also a work day here at our Organite factory. So I had to keep pausing, taking breaks, answering questions, dealing with shipping, dealing with business stuff. And this is our life from the day-to-day basis. Some people think that, I just sit around all day with nothing to do. I am always so busy every single day running this place, running our homestead, taking care of people. And my husband is the same. He does the same thing. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little look inside of our life and talk about, what it's like to live sustainably the best that you can, and to use the fruits of the land and to just keep moving, keep working, keep going forward, no matter what's going on in the world. So I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome to Mishmesh Day on the home front. This is, Mishmesh is Moroccan for apricots. So we have last year's apricot harvest, and we have taken all of it and made all these different things with it. So I'm just going to show you what we do because right now we've got so many apricots on our trees that we're going to need to do this all again very soon with the next apricot harvest. So we're making syrup, we're making cakes, we're making tarts, we're making ice cream, we're making pulp, we're making all kinds of stuff. So anyway, of course jam, but I've already made a gazillion jars of apricot jam, so I'm trying to do different things with it. All right, this is our apricot puree, right? So we've got that can freeze very well, and you can use that to make ice cream. Over here we've got apricot juice in jars. I'm going to put that in a pressure canner so that can stay on the shelf for a very long time. This is going to be our apricot wine. Yeah, we made some wine out of grapes and it came out really good, so we're going to try it with apricot juice this time. Now, let me take you over here. We've got apricots being pulped and mashed, so we're going to use that for cakes. Take you over here in the kitchen. Show you our apricot tarts that are getting ready to go into the oven, and we're going to drizzle them with apricot syrup. I'll show you our apricot syrup. We added some sugar, and right now it's still hot, so it's relatively thin, but once that cools down, that is going to be really nice and syrupy And then you can put that in bottles, and that'll keep for a very long time, especially if you throw them in the fridge. Bring you over here and show you. This is our office studio setup, but now we've got our kitchen area with our extra food storage. And I will show you our dehydrated apricots. So these have been in there for a long time, like 24 hours almost. So they're doing really good. And if we look down towards the bottom, the ones down here are still pretty new. So we have to give them like another 12 hours. And once these are totally dry, we'll be able to store these in Mylar bags. And they should be good for a long time. You can always rehydrate them by just adding boiling water. You guys gotta see this. This is so beautiful. Here's our amaranth harvest. Hold it up, guys. There you go. Here's last year's apricot jam. So we have so many jars of this right now. And on our storage pantry, my syrup's a little thin, but you know, I don't know. I think it'll be okay because it's going to cook a little bit more on top of the tarts. So for now, I will just take my syrup and pour it on top of the tart like so. Alright, finishing touches. This is orange blossom water. That's everywhere in Morocco, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm just going to sprinkle some on top. And these are some dehydrated marigold petals that I grew and dehydrated myself. And I'll sprinkle those on there as well. They're edible. They have a beautiful orange color. And then maybe when it's finished, I'll put a little bit of powdered sugar on the top as well. And here it is, out of the oven, piping hot. Looks like an apricot pizza. Look at that. What do you think about the tarts, babe? Okay. I want to come to Morocco. Alright, we've got an apricot filling to make apricot pastry triangles. Now I'm going to go over there and I'm going to start making apricot cakes. Cake batter. And we're filling up donuts, cupcakes, cake trays. I want to show you our apricot or mishmash trees. They're looking really good this year. So there's one of them, and you'll see they are absolutely loaded with fruit. Can't walk very far without fruit. I'm noticing that all of our trees this year are really filled up with fruit. It's absolutely amazing. We've got peach trees, banana trees, pear trees, just a lot of trees. Apple trees, tons and tons of mishmash. So we're trying to find creative ways to use it. By the way, this is our orange tree. These are navel oranges. So here's the beginning of an orange. We're gonna have lots of oranges this year as well. And there's Tarzan doing his signature stretch. Look at this rose. Look at how big this is. It's the most perfect rose. It smells amazing too. So here we go. Apricot tree, apricot tree, apricot tree. There's at least 2 in the backyard, and then all up against the house over there in the back, more apricot trees. Gardens are looking so insanely good this year. That's a bunch of butternut squash that just started to grow. These are some hollyhocks growing. I'll take you down the row and show you. These are our carrots, more carrots, planting peppers in there, some young plants, turnips, tomatoes, spinach, more turnips, Swiss chard, white chard. We got beets here. Our older kale. This is more cabbage, white cabbage, purple cabbage. And then in there we've got kohlrabi, tons of snow beans, snow peas I mean, green beans. There's our peppers. And here we have a beautiful tangerine tree. There's our new fountain in the background there. So we have lots of buds on here. We're gonna have a lot of fruit on this tree this year. This is cardoon. Now we've got so much cardoon. We just transplanted all of this and it's doing really well. I'm gonna let it all bolt and flower this year because I don't know what to do with all the cardoon and we have way too much of it. Here's Ruby coming along for the walk. The cats love to follow me around. So this is our driveway garden. We've got a lot of zucchinis. These are some young onions, different types of zucchinis, different types of pumpkin. Corn is growing in there. We've got a bunch of lavender planted in the pots up against the wall. I'll take you over here. That's our compost. We do some great composting and we get a lot. And we put it all back into the beds. Look at our peach tree. This has made me so happy. We have lots and lots of peaches on our peach tree. Over here is our pear tree. You gotta look in there really close, but you can see the beginnings of lots of pears. And these buckets here, we grow sweet potatoes in them. We grow the slips. Right now, everything is inside the dirt, but all these buckets will be filled with sweet potatoes, and we've got 2 or 3 other beds where we've got our sweet potatoes. Our grapevines are coming along really nicely. These were transplanted. They're a few years old, but they've only been here for maybe like a year, so they're doing pretty good. Of course, our bougainvillea is blowing up amazing right now. Love it. Love the bougainvillea. And we just planted a passion flower that's going to grow like a vine all over here. So look at this passion flower. This is the passion flower fruit, but look at the flower. That looks like something from another planet. It's gorgeous. I cannot believe how big the roses are this year. They're the size of my hand. The smell over here is absolutely intoxicating. Alright, so we've transplanted all of these trees and they're coming back. It's going to take a while. We've transplanted the lemongrass over there as well. We redid the fountain, and over there you see more mishmash trees, and over there that is a loquat fruit tree, and then we got banana trees as well, and of course olive trees, surrounded by olive trees. This is our fennel. That's doing pretty well. We turned all of those into potato beds. So those are new potatoes that are popping up now. They won't be ready for a while. We've got a big bean harvest in there that we have to harvest probably this week. And a bunch of radishes down here on the bottom. Hey. There's our Commons Cafe seating area. all these new flowers in here. This is all geranium. It's the kind of geranium that you use in essential oils. We have our cactus garden, which has gone crazy. So we're going to trim those back and clean that up a little bit. They're beautiful date palms. Date palms. And our cactus garden, we'll be cleaning that up. And of course, all the bougainvillea down the driveway. What are you smelling?
I smell that chili. We have this conversation. I smell that chili. Damn, it smells good.
So, how do you like the apricot work today? What's your feelings on all the apricot processing you've been doing?
I've been able to taste the results that you provided, and I'd say it's very adequate and tasty and very yummy. And I'm really excited, and I'm just blessed. It's blessed that you made so many things out of these apricots. I'm loving it. You did so much work taking the fruit that's been growing out of this land and processing it, and it's been a journey for both of us, but you're the one that did the legwork to find out how to do prepping, how to do canning, how to harvest the fruit, and what you do with it. You came up with like 5 or 6 different recipes for apricots, and to see this all happen, the transformation as a husband for me, I mean, the benefit is I get to eat this stuff, and it's just wonderful to see, because over the years we've learned a lot. We learned a lot about what it means to be able to grow your own and actually feed yourself, and I just feel blessed to be a husband and actually enjoy it.
And don't worry, guys, he does tons of work on his own. We both work together as a team, so I do a lot of the cooking and he does a lot of the other stuff around the property, but this is how we are self-sustaining and enjoying the fruits of our labor, literally, and the fruits of the land.
It's well worth it.
And my husband, with some of the amazing stuff that he's coming up with, because, for example, we're talking about practical, real things that can actually help people, right? So where we live, we're not in a city. We're outside of the city of Marrakesh. We're in an olive grove, so we're in the countryside. And we do have electricity, and we do have fiber optic here. We have, internet and stuff. But it's not the most stable. So our electricity goes down relatively often. It'll go down for a few hours and then it comes back up, and they have to fix something at the power plant and then it comes back up. So over the past couple of years, I've been saying to my husband, I would like for you to please design something with all of your engineering expertise, because that's what he does, that's his background. Please design something that will just run certain things in the house when the power goes out for a few hours. So he's been doing some incredible stuff. He's got his CAD drawings and his schematics, and we've been buying some parts and things. So he's been putting all of that together for a practical solution for us, for our electricity, our lights, maybe our fridge and our freezers, and also like our electronics, like our computers and our internet and our communications, but also our water, to make sure that we always have running water even if the power goes out for a few hours. So he's been working on all different kinds of ideas and plans, and he's going to be putting all of those together. We've been building his labs. He's got a couple of labs here on our property, 2 different ones right now. So we've been building his labs. You'll see some of those labs in our other videos. And I'm just going to give my husband a chance to talk about his practical solutions and what he's planning on doing with our Energy Academy and our members for the hopefully very near future, maybe 1 or 2 months out from now.
I don't know, it just occurred to me, just an epiphany, just a thought, basically. I used to always think about, I was living either in America or in the Western world, even in the UK, I noticed that a lot of the inventions, if you look at the old patents going back from 150 years and prior, before the Industrial Revolution, they were with people who lived on a farm or by farmers. And for years, I used to ask myself, why is that the case? Why is it that a lot of the inventions were coming from people who either lived, they were like children or kids on the farm, or they were farmers themselves? And now that we've spent, I think this is our 11th year in Morocco, and basically our 5th or 6th year on this property, where we basically have, it's pretty much a prepping, homesteading type of environment. It makes sense now. I understand why. Because you have to solve so many damn problems. You're solving so many problems that otherwise you can, if you're in the city, you have all these conveniences you're surrounded by. You don't have that. Instead, if you have a farm, you're on property that has a function or is doing something. And we have a small business here, and the staff comes onto the property, but we also have gardeners here. We also have the occasional like local electrician and all these things when something goes wrong. And often they don't just come with a bunch of hardware and tools. We have to provide it. Like I have to order parts. Sometimes I have to import things from overseas and bring it in. So you have to first, if you have a farm, you have to be stocked. You have to have like supplies. So you have to get all these raw materials or products or appliances that are available. And then you have to get, like, let's say nails, screws, screwdriver. You have to get all these tools that are there, and so that if you need to fix a problem, you can. And then you need to get the stock, the wood, the resin, the whatever. You need to have these things on hand. And so over a couple of years, the years we've been here, we've had to do all of these things. So it makes perfect sense why, if you go off grid, it means that you're someone who's into solving problems, but it also means that you have to have a supply. And you have to actually, and while you're solving these problems, you start to create your own little system of logistics. How to import things. What kind of business do you want to set up so that you can import things? You have the internet, which is an invaluable resource now. And actually, although we rail against using a weaponized AI, when you use the software that they call AI, pattern recognition, these software that are able to basically source answers from pulling all kinds of data from all over the internet, you can leverage that as a tool to solve these problems in addition to the search engines. And we've learned so much over the years doing that. So it's just basically answered my question. Why do people who tend to live off grid or on farms traditionally are the ones that come up with innovations? Because they had to solve problems that no one else could solve. And they didn't have anyone else they can fall back on. And it tends to be, it's out of necessity. If they didn't solve that problem, they might not have had electricity, they might not have had clean water to pump out of the ground, they might not have had a means of, to have an appliance or a machine that they needed to either do a harvest or to operate or to mend or fix a generator, all of these things. So it's just something that I was thinking about, that we were talking about.
There's a few projects on our property here that we're going to be embarking on, having to do with our water supply, our electricity, if the electricity goes out. And these are things that you've been working on really hard.
Yes.
So can you just tell us a little bit about what you're working on and what you're designing?
So over the years, one of the biggest tasks is you have these list of problems, and it's trying to prioritize in addition to running a business, what is the most important thing. And now that we've been here long enough, we can definitely say it is when the power goes out. And I think very soon, if it hasn't happened in a place near you, it's going to be, everyone can identify that they're getting more and more brownouts and blackouts. And it's like when you lose that power, you also lose the water. Now, if you run on solar, and depending on the size, of your property and the solar equipment that you have, you probably got that licked. But for us, that's still something that we were trying to prioritize. So it definitely is, when the power goes out, you want to have ultimately an independent power supply with a lot of electricity. That is the goal, I think, for most people, right? And not everyone has acres and acres to put acres and acres of solar panels, because that now you're talking about $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. In the meantime, the most immediate thing that we prioritize is to have your own your source of water is pumped out of the ground and is being cycled through your house independently from the local municipality, whatever that is, and it's solar powered. And we've seen it work because we have another setup where we've seen the solar panels operate, where it's pumping water out of the well. We have a well system here, and it's used to irrigate the plot next door. And so we want to do that for our house, where we get well water pumping through our house system with a throw switch, and basically you could disconnect from into our own solar electricity to make that well work for us into our reservoir that we install, and that will allow us to at least be able to flush our toilets, take the well water that's coming out, have it filtered and distilled. Of course, you need power to run the distiller if you wanted to. And so I know it sounds like, well, that's very simple. It is, but to get to that point, obviously you need to have a plan, you need to have a layout about where you're going to put the actual extra storage water tank to be able to take well water, because it's a different kind of water versus the potable water coming from the local municipality, and how you're going to process that water before you drink it. But once it's in your house, you can flush it. You can use it to still clean the dishes, but mainly for baths and flushing, and you won't lose power that long. Also, we're looking at a system to be able to operate anything that can charge off of solar more efficiently. So we're looking at boost converters, resonance circuits, things like that, to allow us to run our batteries for longer periods of time, to run light loads like 9-watt LED based lamps, laptops. Surprisingly, smart TVs take up very little energy, between 50 to 60 watts. And if you have enough of the gel cell lead acid batteries, also things dealing with charging like smart pads or maybe even Wi-Fi router to maintain communication, these kind of things that you can run for hours on end. So that is what we're working towards, but the priority for us is independent water, and I think the next priority would be to be able to run an appliance that keep things cold, like a refrigerator or freezer, for a long period of time.
And soon, maybe in the next couple of months, 2-3 months, you will be creating your own YouTube channel.
Yes.
To revamp our Clean Energy Academy. Yes. With all of the different experiments that you have been working on when it comes to electricity.
Yes, the Clean Energy Academy is taking another direction, and we have members that are quite patiently and through their diligence have been waiting for an update. There's been a lot of research and development going on to prioritize what immediately can be done for that our members can latch on to, and people who are kind of new to us looking as far as off-grid solutions. And the way we see it, it's energy is all around us. It's an open system. So, we're not necessarily calling it free energy anymore, but just it's open off-grid energy, clean energy solutions. And
yeah, we're really focusing on practical things that people can use in their everyday lives right now, for everyday situations, for grid down situations. If your power goes out for a few hours or whatever it is, like what can you do as a backup system? So we've been focusing very, very much on that.
And the focus is on looking at other experiments, and that's someone clearly pulling in with a truck full of gravel and rocks next door. But what we're looking at here is it's not so much based on theory and concept, more like what people have already done around the world as far as off-grid energy solutions. Some of them lead to very high efficiency based results. So what I'm working on now is a switch-based circuit that allows you to recycle batteries very quickly while running a load, and allowing that load to run maybe 5 times longer than what you normally would under a traditional single battery. So that's our top priority, because we think there's some merit there. But the key here with the members into this website is going to be very much hands-on. They'll see the application and be able to participate real time as far as comments, and we make available are the files needed to make their own. Like they'll download the file, either get it 3D printed or have it made, so that they can start participating in solutions now, because we feel that there is a need, not just for us, but clearly globally the climate is shifting, so that people really do feel an urgency, if they can, to get off grid as soon as possible.
This is turning out to be a really interesting video. We've got so many different things we're covering. And this is our everyday life, guys, on the homestead, where 1 minute we're making apricot stuff, the next minute We're thinking about energy solutions.
And next minute we have to clear some things through customs. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're dealing with logistics and governments and all of the other stuff. So this is the life. Now, this next part of my vlog is going to be a little different. We're going to take a little side path, right? So here I am on my back porch at the end of the day after baking a gazillion apricot cakes and everything else. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about disability, okay? So I want you all to know that if you have become disabled at any time in the past, I don't think badly of you because you're disabled. There are so many people that have become disabled for one reason or the other, whether it's before 2020 and the program that happened then, or those that have happened after 2020. So disability is a real thing. If you don't have body mobility, or you have difficulties dealing with things, you have to get by the best that you can. You have to do the best that you can to take care of yourself, take care of your family. If you're lucky enough to have somebody to be a caretaker and take care of you because you are disabled, that is wonderful. A lot of people don't have that. Having one disabled member in your family is a burden on the rest of the family. It's very, very difficult. And a long time ago, in a land far, far away, we're talking 20 years ago, I spent a lot of time as a home health aide. I took care of dozens, if not up to 100 different individual clients who were the elderly, ill, and disabled. I've seen it all. I've seen cancer, I've seen just old age, I've seen different types of diseases that take people out of their lives, and I was the one who would go in every single day into their home and take care of them. I would wipe their behinds, clean up vomit, do all kinds of things, clean their house, cook for them, sit with them, talk to them. It was difficult sometimes with those that had mental problems like Alzheimer's, dementia, and also when people become disabled, there's a lot of emotions that happen. People get very upset. They don't like their lot in life, and some of them can become very abusive. So I've been hit and kicked and scratched and bitten. I've had all that stuff happen to me as a home health aide, and I spent many years doing it. My husband says, people like you who do home health aid stuff that take care of people in those situations are like angels. And I really do think, because it wasn't easy. It was probably some of the better money that I could make, because you could get a higher paying position if you're a home health aide when you're a teenager. I did it when I was a teenager and also to put myself through college. I did it for about close to 10 years, I think, and then I went back to school. I got my MBA and started working corporate jobs. And prior to that, I was waitressing also. I mean, I did whatever I had to do to earn a living, to make some money so I can pay my bills and live my life, right? That's my background. It's pretty rich. I'm getting up there in age now. I am 48 years old. So I've got so much stuff in my past, right? But the reason why I wanted to bring this up today is because I've noticed that with the internet, there's this new dynamic. So please follow me if you can. The new dynamic is you've got all of these newly disabled people, and a lot of them are not old. They're young. They're disabled for all different kinds of reasons, right? And so they can't work a job, and they're collecting disability from the government so that they can pay their bills. They're getting free this, free that, free rent, whatever it is, free to medications, so that they, and that's, if it helps you, then I guess that's a good thing, right? For me personally, I have never accepted any of that free stuff from the government in my entire life. There was one time, a long time ago, when I think I got food stamps for like 1 month because I was in between jobs and it was like emergency food stamps. I got like $200 or $300 in food stamps for 1 month, and that was the extent of it, right? So I've never lived on any of these free checks from the government. However, right now, what we deal with, so like we're here, living our lives, working like dogs, and I love it. I love working to take care of myself and my family, take care of our property, take care of our animals, take care of our business, take care of our staff. We're very blessed, and I'm a good steward over all of that stuff. And it's a very, very busy life, day by day. But then at the end of the day, I go and I check my phone and I start scrolling around online to see what people are talking about. And there are all of these different people with these groups. They're almost like cults of people that they don't work. All of them are on disability. All of them have been on disability for many, 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 many years, right? And which is okay. I'm fine with that. If you've been on disability for a long time because you have a really bad problem, I don't have any problem with that, okay? What I have a problem with is that people who have been on disability for decades, getting free money from the government, that don't have to go work jobs, that put the burden of their existence on all of their family members to take care of them because they can't work and they can't earn money. They spend all their time online trolling and harassing other people who are working their butts off to earn their own living the honest way. So, if you hate me because I said that, I'm sorry. But when you are a person who is working constantly, you're too busy. I'm too busy to watch all your videos about how much you hate me and how much you think I'm a this and you think I'm a that and the name calling and the cursing and all the other stuff that I see online. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, politically. I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff. I watch it, I see it, I follow it, I have my own opinions. I'll keep them to myself right now. I'm just worried about me and my family. But going back to these groups of people online, you know, I was talking to my husband, and he had a really interesting idea, and I just wanted to say it here. He said, it should be a requirement for if a person is disabled and they're receiving free checks from the government for their disability. Again, no problems with that. No problems. I understand. Things happen, right? But that same person spends all their time, at least 40 hours a week, making videos that are slandering and harassing other people who work and run businesses. That person, all of that should be inspected by the disability office. And we should say, hey, we just found that you've been making hundreds of hours of video slandering and attacking people while you're sitting at home collecting checks from the government for your disability. To me, if you're able to put that level of work into making videos, then you could be putting that level of work into earning an honest living. There are so many jobs that you can do that are online. You could be a freelancer. You could join one of these sites like Fiverr.com, or there's so many different sites that, like, you know, I'll SEO your videos for you for $10, for $20, for $50. I'll do this work for you. I'll do that work for you. You could earn a living by sitting at the computer doing some profitable, productive work for somebody that needs your help, instead of sitting there making videos, trashing people all day. So that's just my 2 cents. I think my husband was brilliant. It's like, if you want to apply for disability, you need your social media accounts checked. And if they find that there's hundreds or thousands of hours of you making videos trashing and trolling people, you don't get a disability check because you obviously have tons of time to do that. So you could probably use that to actually work and do something to help people. Anyway, that's what I'm all about. And you'll see we've worked really hard to build our home. We were blessed. It was not an easy road. It took many years to get to this point. And almost everything that we've learned here, we taught ourselves. A lot of it was by watching YouTube videos. You know, all the how-to on YouTube, that's been incredibly helpful to us. Hey kids, what does Mommy's slippers say? What does Mommy's slippers say? That's right. I feel a mama bear moment coming on. One more thing I want to say about this thing when it comes to harassing and trolling and slandering people that are actually working for a living. So in cases like us, you're not just attacking Hope and Tavon. We have up to 30 people working for us, and they come from all different walks of life. A lot of them we met through our church. They all have amazing stories. They've been through a lot. This is a different part of the world, you know, and these are very poor people that we gave them all a chance. They have jobs with us. They can earn an honest living with us. And, you know, half those people, it's like 15 of them work here on site, and the other half of those people are people that we employ online through online things. And every single week, I'm cutting paychecks. Every single week, this is what our business has allowed us to do. So when you come after us and you lie about us and you slander us and you try to tell people crazy things about our company, you're not just hurting us, you're hurting all those people. It's their livelihoods that we are providing for through the blessings of God. So you need to understand, you need to filter your speech. If you make a public video and you start proclaiming all this crazy stuff and you're lying like crazy and you're slandering somebody, and you yourself, you don't work, you don't pay anybody, you know, you're just sitting at home earning your free check from the government, and then what do you do with your time? You spend all of it slandering people that are working for a living and following all the laws and doing everything correct and trying to help other people. You're hurting more than just me. I don't care if you hurt me, but you're hurting all those people too. And some of these people that have been doing this to us, I knew them. I had conversations with them like years ago, a couple years ago. And I actually told them, hey, look at all the people that we have, and look at all the wonderful things we've done to help these people in their lives. And a lot of this stuff we don't really talk about, because the Bible has this verse where it basically says, if you're going to do charitable works, don't let one hand know what the other hand's doing. So in other words, be private. When we give charitably and we help people, or we're really quiet about it because we want to be humble about it, because only God needs to know what we do to help others. It's all that matters to us, right? But we do a lot. We've done a lot of things over the years. And so I get upset, not because you're calling me names or you're lying about me or you're slandering me, but because you're hurting the people that I love and care for, who are completely innocent of anything. They just work here, and they're all good people, and you're trying to take away their livelihoods. And maybe I'll stop it there, because I can go really deep on this. I think that it's a communist spirit that does these types of things. And communism, if you look at history, always leads to murdering and stealing other people's stuff, because that's what communism is. I'm going to take all your stuff, and I'm going to kill you. So if you've got this mentality where you're attacking people's businesses and their livelihoods, that's the spirit that you're bringing forth. And I want to keep that far away from me, and I rebuke that in Jesus' name, because I'm protecting our family, our homestead, and the wonderful people that work with us who have become my family over many years. So watch what you say, folks. And here's how I want to end this video, guys. My friend, she's in the kitchen. That is the apricot juice canning. We're on day 2 now. But I want to show you something that I always have here in my kitchen. And I want to read it to you. A wife of noble character, who can one find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax. With eager hands she is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings she plants a vineyard, and she sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are stronger for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. Proverbs 31, 10 through 31. That is the Proverbs woman right there, and that is my daily goal, to be that Proverbs woman in my household, for my husband, for my family, for those around me in my community. May God bless you all.